Hey guys, today's math lesson is lesson 114. We are going to be talking about simplifying fraction answers. You can look at page 720 and read along. We often write answers to math problems in the simplest form possible. If an answer contains a fraction, there are two procedures that we usually follow. Number one, we write improper fractions as mixed numbers or whole numbers. Or two, we reduce fractions when possible. And you've been taught how to do both of those. So let's get into actually applying it when we're adding and subtracting fractions. So our first one is we add 2/3 plus 2/3. And remember, when we're adding fractions, we only add the numerator, not the denominator. So, sorry, the light is glaring on the board again. That's better. 2 plus 2 is 4. And we keep our thirds. Okay, so we have 4/3. Well, that's not a proper fraction. So we're going to change 4/3. So we know that 3/3 is equal to 1 whole. So 4/3 is just 1 over that. So 4/3 is equal to 1 and 1/3. And that's the right answer, the proper answer. 4/3 is right, you're right, it's 4/3, but it needs to be in the proper form, which would be 1 and 1/3, okay? So let's do it with a subtraction problem. Number 2 says 3/4, or example 2, 3/4 minus 1/4. Again, we only subtract the numerator. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2/4. Okay? So this doesn't need to be changed into a mixed number or a whole number, but it can be reduced. Remember, we reduce fractions by dividing them by the same number. 2 and 4 are both divisible by 2. So we divide 2 by 2 and we get 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And we have 1/2. Moving on. Example 3. Nicholas exercises each day by walking. The route he walks each morning is 3 1/3 miles long, and the route he walks each evening is 4 2/3 miles long. Altogether, how many miles does Nicholas walk each day? So we're going to add. Now, first we add our whole numbers. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then 1/3 plus 2/3 is 3/3. Well, we wouldn't say he walks 7 3/3 miles because we know that 3/3 is equal to a whole. So instead, 7 3/3, we have 7 and 1, which is 8. So he walks 8 miles. Example 4. We need to add 5 3/5 plus 6 4/5. All right. So again, we add our whole numbers first. 5 plus 6 is 11. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then we keep our 5 there. Okay, so 11 and 7/5. 7/5 is more than 1 because 5/5 would be a whole. So our 5/5 can change. We can take away 5/5 from this and add that to our whole number to get 12. And then we had 2/5 left over. And there we go. 12 and 2/5. Now our last one. A piece of fabric is 1 3/8 yards in length. Was cut from a bolt of fabric that measured 6 5/8 yards long. How long is the piece of fabric left on the bolt? So we subtract. 6 minus 1, 5. 5 minus 3, 2, leave our 8. So we have 5 2/8. But 2/8 can be reduced. 2 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So I keep my 5, and then I reduce 2/8. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we have 5 1/4, and that's yards. And that is the simplest way we can write that. Now you're going to go ahead and do your lesson practice on page 722. That's A through F. And then on your written practice, you're going to do, listen carefully, and I have this written on your weekly overview. Today's is even problems, but you're going to skip 12 and 22 and do 17 and 19 instead. So, even problems, except for 12 and 22. Instead, you're doing 17 and 19, okay? Again, that's written down for you. If you forget, it's on that sheet that I have for you in Schoology of all your assignments for the week. And that's all I have for you today. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. I hope I didn't go through this too fast. If I did, you can reach out and ask me for some help, or ask a parent or older sibling for help, okay?